Welcome back to the musings of an old maverick. Welcome back to the archives of my life. Sales executives, business development personnel, entrepreneurs, whether budding or seasoned, have one nightmare in common: product to market. It is something that has even haunted me for decades in the sales industry, and after teeing off as a CEO, becoming an entrepreneur myself. Product to market will always put butterflies in your stomach every time you plan to either launch a new product or are involved with a product that is not necessarily new but requires one amazing strategy to take to the market. Let me tell you my experience. Sales is not something that is ad hoc. Sales is a highly planned, strategic move. And I have stacked for you an 8-point stack which should help all you guys out there, especially you, to become ace salespeople. So then what's my 8-point stack? But before I come to that, let me put a disclaimer here. All my vlogs that are available on YouTube in my channel are absolutely original vlogs. The ideas are original, the advice is original, the tips are original, because the simple reason that everything stems out from 7 decades of my experience on planet Earth. Experience, knowledge, and all the wisdom that is gained from it. And what have I done? I have actually churned up all this knowledge, all this wisdom, based on all the experiences that I've had, into a formula, and that's what you get to see in almost every vlog of mine, to take care of all your stress, your pain, matched up with your present ecosystem. It's not a lecture of the past. It's an experience of the past married with today's ecosystem. So then, now let's get along. Let's get ahead with what my 8-point stack is really all about. Point 1. Present your organization's vision first, not the product. Whether you're a professional sales executive in business development, or whether you're a young budding entrepreneur or even a seasoned entrepreneur when you launch a new product. First thing that you must do is present the vision. Because people buy into the vision before they buy the product. And if you're smart, you will not just take a product on the table just for the heck of it and start talking about a product without actually sharing the richness of the vision behind the product. Point number 2, pain to solution. Every product in the market is actually a solution to a pain. Now, if you haven't identified the pain, how do you sell your product? As a professional, as an entrepreneur, how can you create a product if you haven't understood the pain? So you got to catch the bull by the horns, not by the tail. If you're an entrepreneur, obviously you would have understood a certain pain your target audience or your target demography is going through, and you have therefore developed a solution for it, and that solution becomes your product. For the executive, first explore in depth what is the pain your product is solving. And then when you meet with your client, first discuss the client's pain. Discuss what is it that is really painful for him or her, and then provide the solution through your product. Point number 3 in the 8-point stack: prioritize networking. In your entire network, you should have influencers and you should have potential customers. Now, networking, let me tell you, is actually an art. It isn't, again, ad hoc. How do you network? Networking is not about connecting with people for your own gains as a professional or as an entrepreneur. Networking is about helping people gain, and in the process, you gain. Now, this is a very simple way of approaching the very art of networking. And I have been doing this for several decades. Let's say I have someone in my network who is a car dealer, and I discover a couple of more people in my network who are actually looking to buy a car. What do? I connect those people with the person who is a car dealer. And I keep feeding him with customers as long as I get aware of the fact that there are people in my network who are wanting to buy a car. Now, what happens in this? A beautiful effect. Somewhere down the line, this particular car dealer network of mine is going to look around and see that I have actually been referring quite a few customers for him. And he's then going to start seeing what I do and start referring customers to me to enhance my sales. So networking is an art, and first study it and then utilize this very potential art of networking. The fourth P on my 8-point stack, and this is really critical: prioritize customer service. I'd like to share one very interesting story which happened quite recently. I'm quite a seafood guy and I love seafood. So I have a particular store very close to my residence where I generally go and pick up my weekly requirement for fish, prawns, whatever. And lately I'd noticed that the fish that I was buying or I was being supplied with wasn't really very fresh. So I 2 or 3 times did mention it to them, nothing changed, and then I sent an email to this setup, this organization, which has its dealer network all across the country and here too. And I received a very prompt reply requesting for my contact numbers, because the contact number is stored in the store itself, so they could locate the store where I buy it from. And within the next 30 minutes, again very promptly, I received a phone call from the very store that I buy my product from. Now here's where things sucked. When he started explaining to me the reasons why possibly I landed up with some really bad fish, was that I should actually do my fish buying at 9 o'clock in the morning and not earlier, because that's when fresh fish come. So what do you mean to say? That the entire store should be open between 9 and 9:30 and closed after that? Because I suppose the fish turns stale? That was a bad call. If I was in the customer service, I would have said, well sir, I'm sorry, but you are our priority customer, and I will personally meet with you when you come next to the store and ensure that you get the best, freshest fish. In the meantime, I am putting you on the computer as our top priority customer. Now, I may not really do that, but the fact is, I've given my customer a great ego flip and a wonderful feeling of being taken care of. Customer service is the spine bone for effective sales and marketing. The fifth important point in my 8P stack, and this is again a very interesting one. Profile yourself on social media, for professionals and for entrepreneurs. Professionals especially, don't work just for the organization, work for the industry that you are in. 4 decades in the corporate world, I never worked more than 5 years in any organization. You know why? Because I didn't belong to any organization. I belonged to the industry of sales and marketing, the industry of business development, the industry of taking a product to the market. And that is where I created my personal brand. That is where I created my market value. That is where I created a great price tag on my shoulder. But if you work within an organization, just for the organization, with your personal brand only working within the organization, you're going to get nowhere. Today, it's an amazing world we live in. We can create websites, we can get onto social media, we can talk about ourselves on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Insta, and the whole world can come to know who you are. That wasn't what I grew up with. That was a major struggle during my time as a sales professional, because everything was entirely offline because there was nothing called online. Utilize all these channels and build up your personal brand, both as an entrepreneur and as a professional salesperson, because the world must know you. Remember something, the world buys into you first before it even looks at what you have to offer. Build up your personal brand. My sixth important point on my 8P stack: power up on skills. This is something you cannot do without. Believe me, you need to constantly keep upgrading yourself. Even at my age, with all the experience that I have, I am constantly upgrading myself. And today, what a major advantage we have. There are so many amazing courses, quite affordable, available on the internet, available online. You just need to look at one, feel congruent with it, pay the amount, and you are a student. As long as you keep powering up on your communication skills, your selling skills, your product skills, your customer relationship skills, every skill that will make you an amazing and awesome product to market catalyst, whether you're a sales professional or whether you're an entrepreneur. Keep powering up on skills. The seventh important point in my 8P stack is plan and monitor. I told you earlier that sales is not something that's just one ad hoc way of doing things. Sales is a highly planned strategic move. You need to strategize your work. If you're doing cold calling, you must strategize the entire movement. In fact, there are some vlogs in this universe of mine, which you can search for on how to do cold calling in sales. In fact, there are quite a few vlogs I have stacked up for you on sales and marketing and how to take your product to market in very many effective ways and in quite a bit of detail. So you can always check after this video, you can always check out the rest of whatever is available in my universe. But it is important that you ensure that you monitor and you plan every day your sales movements. Every day your product to market decisions, product to market planning, product to market strategizing. Unless and until you don't have it all figured out, either on a Word doc or an Excel sheet or whatever is convenient for you, on a regular basis, well monitored, you are going to end up month after month as an absolute failure, both as a sales executive and as a budding young entrepreneur. The final eighth point in the 8P stack is persistence and resilience. Look, taking a product to market is a highly tensed job, and I know it. I remember the days when I was a very young salesperson. I used to walk into the office and I'd see the tension so thick in the air that sometimes I'd say, if I take off my hat and place it in the air, it won't fall. That's how humongous the tension can get if things are not well planned. If the 8P stack doesn't become a part of your existence. If you are not in complete control with your emotions with your reactions, with everything that might just jiggle you up inside when things don't go right. And things will not go right. And that is a given. But most often, things will also go right as long as you have everything well planned. But remember something, persistence, resilience, and enormous amount of determination is what will make you an ace product to market catalyst, whether you're in sales or whether you're an entrepreneur. Organizations depend on sales personnel to get their product bought by their target audience or the target group or the target demography. You are the conduit, if I may use that word, for product out, money in. And therefore, it's a highly, highly pressured and tense job. And I'm sure you know that. But let me tell you one thing. Don't get demotivated. Don't fall flat. You know why? Because this is one industry. In fact, with my experience, probably the only industry where your growth can be right from an executive all the way up to a chief executive officer. Look around you. Majority of the organizations across the world have CEOs only from business development. Because number one, they know how to take pressure. Number two, they're very resilient. And number three, they are seasoned people who know how to take a product to the market. Well then, this is Anand Nair signing off for now. And I'm going to see you soon, very, very soon, with another vlog created just for you.